In Chapter 5, the American Revolution kind of gets started as it shows the growing tension between Great Britain and the colonies. After the French and Indian War, Britain started imposing taxes like the Stamp Act and the Tea Act, to help pay off war debt. The colonists were not happy about this, and they argued of no taxation without representation, meaning if they didn't have any part of say in Parliament in Great Britain, then they shouldn't be taxed because that's not fair to them. So because of this, tensions became really high, and it kind of sparked events like the Boston Massacre and the Boston Tea Party, which led Britain to pass the Coercive Acts, kind of trying to tighten its grip on the colonies. In response to this, the colony leaders formed the First Continental Congress to coordinate a resistance. Because of this, fighting began in 1775 at Lexington and Concord, starting the Revolutionary War. Then the Second Continental Congress met and appointed George Washington as the commander of the Continental Army. In 76, the colonies declared independence with the Declaration of Independence, arguing that all men have natural rights and the government that the government exists only to the consent that want to be governed. The war was a very long war, and the victories from the colonists like Saratoga, and the vital support from the French, the Americans able to gain strength through them, and they finally forced British to surrender in 1781, and then America officially became independent with the Treaty of Paris in 1783. But this independence brought challenges, which led to the Articles of Confederation. But it was a weak national government, and they had very much economic and political instability and struggles. The revolution brought independence to the United States, but it hurt it very much because of how economically and politically they suffered through that. So in Chapter 6, it goes into after the American Revolution, and it just talks about how the Americans celebrated the unity and success of their new nation and independence, but it goes back to those political and economic struggles that were obviously there. The Shays' Rebellion was a huge crisis about farmers who were in debt and couldn't pay their taxes, took up arms against the government, which was eventually stopped. But it exposed the weaknesses of the Articles of Confederation, and it convinced the leaders that we needed a stronger government. In response, they met at the Constitutional Convention in 1787, and instead of just revising the Articles, they created the Constitution, and they designed a federal system with three branches: the judicial, executive, and legislative. And they created the compromises like bicameral Congress and the Three-Fifths Compromise. In 91, the Bill of Rights will replace the Constitution, and then it just kind of like shows the tensions between America. And overall, the Chapter 6 just kind of establishes the foundation of the United States government, but it also shows the divisions that would shape our nation's future.